Thousands of years ago, humans didn't exactly have the same problems as they do today. While we're worrying about which one of our favorite takeout spots is going to be our next meal, they had to worry about whether they'd become someone or something's next meal. When we think about the kinds of creatures they had to deal with, I bet there's one that instantly comes to mind: the infamous woolly mammoth. After all, this was the biggest mammal of the Ice Age, and it's always the one that comes up in ancient hunting stories. But what if I told you that there was a much less known beast that roamed the continents back then? And that was much, much scarier to our ancestors. Well, you'd probably believe me. But what if I told you that it was a cat? Now, would you believe me? It's ironic that we've turned cats into those adorable playfriends, because 10,000 years ago, we were the ones getting played by these animals. Well, not these cats, this cat. Smilodon. This nightmare creature is commonly known as the saber-toothed cat, or, inaccurately, the saber-toothed tiger, which is just a term coined by a series of cultural associations, mostly from artists depicting these extinct creatures in the 19th and 20th century, which resulted in this common but inaccurate name. While Smilodon is a feline like tigers, it is part of the subfamily Machairodoninae, whilst tigers and all big cats such as lions, panthers, leopards, and jaguars are part of the Pantherina subfamily. Smilodon was a formidable carnivorous mammal that roamed the earth during the Pleistocene and early Holocene epochs. It was the largest and most famous of the so-called saber-toothed cats, with its iconic fangs stretching up to a foot in length. Now, I know you know what a foot in length is, but take a second to really imagine what it would be like to face a creature as large as a lion, with fangs protruding a foot in length, ready to make you their next meal. Plus, Smilodon was known for ambushing large, slow-moving prey, which, let's be honest, humans qualify for. Smilodon would pin down its targets with sheer power and use its saber teeth to deliver a swift, lethal bite to the neck. Not exactly a pleasant ending. Contrary to popular belief, there isn't just one species of saber-toothed cats. Smilodon belonged to a subfamily within Felidae called Machairodontinae, an entirely extinct group with no surviving members, and at least 3 species of Smilodon are known: S. populator, S. fatalis, and S. gracilis. The smallest and oldest of the group, Smilodon gracilis, was about the size of a modern leopard and served as a mid-tier predator across the Americas. It survived the Pliocene faunal extinction and eventually gave rise to the other 2, which became apex predators. Smilodon fatalis, a successive species, spread from northern South America into North America, with some individuals reaching up to 280 kilograms or 600 pounds. The largest of all was Smilodon populator, native to South America's Amazonian region, and it is often considered the largest feline to have ever existed, with a found specimen exceeding 470 kilograms, or 1,040 pounds. To put that into perspective, an adult grizzly bear weighs about 300 kilograms, or 660 pounds. That's almost twice as heavy, and it's a cat. For more context on how enormously heavy Smilodon populator really was, the heaviest weight ever pulled off the ground by a human is just about 500 kilograms, or 1,102 pounds. So, the strongest man in history could barely move this creature, and yet our ancestors had to fight them with sticks and stones. not exactly a fair fight. Now, to really put things into perspective, we need some height measurements as well. It measured around 3 meters or 10 feet long and stood approximately 105 meters or just over 3 feet tall at the shoulder. With relatively short muscular legs and a short bob tail resembling that of a modern bobcat, Smilodon was built for strength rather than speed. Its powerful front legs were well adapted for pouncing on prey, but it was not a fast runner and struggled to chase down swift animals like deer. Instead, it hunted slower species, including Macrauchenia, Toxodon, certain mammoth subspecies, and ground sloths. The skull of Smilodon measured around 31 centimeters and housed 2 massive saber-like canine teeth, which were serrated and oval in cross-section. Many Smilodon fossils show evidence of broken canines. One notable find included a fossilized wolf with a Smilodon tooth fragment embedded in its skull. Smilodon had powerful jaws capable of opening to 120 degrees, in contrast to modern lions, which can open their jaws only to about 65 degrees. The strong jaw and neck muscles allowed Smilodon to stab its prey with its deadly maxillary canine teeth, while its front incisors may have been used to rip strips of flesh from bones. However, compared to other large cats, Smilodon's bite force was relatively weaker. It remains uncertain whether Smilodon could successfully hunt after losing its teeth, though some paleontologists and biologists suggest this could be fatal for the big cat. Interestingly, several Smilodon fossils have been found with healed wounds, indicating that injured individuals were still able to obtain food, which lends support to the possibility that they lived in social groups similar to modern lions. This definitely did not give their prey much of a fair fight. Speaking of a fair fight, you wouldn't believe the size of some of Smilodon's favorite prey. All 3 species of Smilodon were specialized hunters, adept at taking down herbivores many times their size. Unlike modern large felines such as panthers, which typically kill by suffocating their prey, saber-toothed cats employed a different technique. They would pull their prey to the ground and use their elongated canine teeth to stab through the neck, delivering a fatal cut. These fangs were not only much sharper than those of modern felines, but also featured serrations along the back, allowing Smilodon to efficiently dispatch large animals like bison and ground sloths. The social behavior of Smilodon remains a topic of debate among scientists. Some argue whether they were social hunters like modern lions or solitary like tigers. It has been suggested that this behavior varied between species, which could explain the conflicting interpretations of certain archaeological findings related to social hunting. At this point, you might be wondering just how much of an actual problem was Smilodon for our ancestors. Humans are believed to have arrived in the New World as early as 26,000 years ago, coexisting with saber-toothed cats for more than 10,000 years. Fossilized footprints have been discovered alongside those of Smilodon, indicating their shared presence in the same environments. Additionally, a petroglyph discovered in Arizona may depict Smilodon and was most likely created by people from the region, indicating that they most definitely have seen and probably even met this apex predator. If this interpretation is correct, the artwork shows the animal with a spotted coat, ear tufts, and cheek ruffs reminiscent of modern lynxes. Given that other species within the Machairodontidae subfamily, such as Machairodus and Dinofelis, are known to have preyed on humans, It's quite plausible that Smilodon occasionally hunted ancient humans as well. Smilodon fatalis went extinct roughly 10,000 years ago, with Smilodon populator following a few hundred or thousand years later. The most well-supported hypothesis as to why was because of the Younger Dryas climate event. The Younger Dryas was a significant and abrupt climatic event that occurred approximately 12,900 to 11,700 years ago during the late Pleistocene epoch. It is characterized by a return to glacial conditions after a period of warming that followed the last ice age. This major event devastated the habitats of large herbivores that giant cats preyed on, causing both to gradually decline over several thousand years. It is also believed that hunting of these herbivores by humans may have played a role in their decline and eventual extinction. After all, there can't be enough food for everyone all the time, right? In a way, this is not such a bad thing, as it allowed us, modern humans, to live in a Smilodon-free world, which, if you listen to your survival instinct for a second, is most definitely a good thing. Thank you for watching, and until next time on PaleoPath.